Hey vinyl community, Mitch here, guy in a hat, summer hat, who likes to talk about summer records. And today I'm doing a response tag for Peter from Music as a Journey and his friend Bobby. And they've come up with the summer vinyl tag for this year. And I really enjoyed doing last year's one. Martin the Martian did it last year and I really enjoyed doing it. And summer's one of my favourite times of year too. So I really wanted to do another summer vinyl tag. So I'm going to attempt to do theirs now. But what does summer remind you of? Well, for me, it reminds me of holidays, full of activities. Ice cream, of course. Sangria. Exotic swimwear. And it's a great time. And at the moment in the UK, we're currently going through yet another heat wave. So it's been in the 30s this week. So everybody in the UK has basically been. But back to the tag. Peter and Bobby have put together 15 prompts, all to do with summer and to show records associated with summer. So let's get on with it. But before we get to it, I'm just going to give you a word from my sponsor, What a Tan, and they kindly sponsored today's video. So here's a promotional plug before we start.
What a tan, tantalizing, moisturizing, mesmerizing. What a tan, tantalizing, mesmerizing, moisturizing. What a tan.
What a Tan is different. Keeps your skin moist and sensuous. Go ahead, feel the difference. What a tan.
Okay, let's get to it. So the first prompt, I'm going to have to open my phone here so I can remember what they are. Prompt number 1. Summer usually means constant sunny days. Show an album with an image of the sun on the cover. And this has always been one of my favourite album covers with the sun on it. Nina Simone's 1971 album, Here Comes the Sun. Obviously, it has the cover of George Harrison's Here Comes the Sun on it. Absolutely superb. And I love Nina Simone's 70s albums. She does some great originals and some great covers as well. So on here, you've got Here Comes the Sun. You've got Dylan's Just Like a Woman. You've got Mr. Bojangles, one of the saddest songs of all time. Ooh Child, Angel of the Morning, and a strangely upbeat version of My Way. But yeah, cracking album. Nina Simone's Here Comes the Sun. Next prompt, number 2. Since summer is made up of 3 months, June, July and August, show an album by a trio. I've gone for a hip-hop trio for this one, and this is Main Source and the album Breaking Atoms. An absolute classic hip-hop album, in my opinion. In fact, I go as far to say it's one of the best hip-hop albums ever made. I absolutely love it. From 1991, the trio, Large Professor was the MC, and you've got 2 DJs, Sir Scratch and K Cut. And this album is just superb. It's got so many great samples on. Really is untouchable in terms of samples. Lord alone knows where they got them all from. Some are jazz, some are soul, some are funk. But they just propel the tracks forward. Really cool. And Large Professor's a great vocalist, great MC. And it's just a hip-hop classic. If you haven't heard it, honestly, check it out. It's an absolute classic. And that's the trio, Main Source, and that's Breaking Atoms. Okay, next prompt. The 4 zodiac signs for the 3 summer months are Gemini, Cancer, Leo and Virgo. Show an album representing one of those signs in some way. Well, I can do better than that. I can show an album that represents them all. And it's from the crude comedian Blowfly. And this is his Zodiac album. And as you can see, all the Zodiac signs are represented by sexual positions. So let's have a look through. Let's find Gemini. See what you Geminis will be getting up to. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, yeah, I think I can understand what's going on there. You naughty Geminis. Let's see. Cancer. What's Cancer up to? Yeah, there you go. There's Cancer. There's one for you Cancerians. Leo. Blimey, Leos. And you've got, what's the last one? Virgo. Let's have a look. Virgo. Bit innocent there, Virgo. Anyway, this is the fourth album by Blowfly. If you've never heard of him, he basically does sexually crude versions of soul standards. On this album, he's basically going through the zodiac, telling you the sexual proclivities of each star sign, and it's not for kids, put it this way. It says it on the back. The Zodiac Blowfly album is strictly for consenting adults and must be used in the privacy of your own home. DJs, please do not play this record on air. Yeah, with good reason. But yeah, zodiac signs from Mr. Blowfly. Filth. Okay. Next prompt. It's summer break and college kids are returning home and partying with their friends. Talk about a drinking song or one just connected to alcohol. Well, this has always been one of my favourite songs about alcohol and drinking, and it's by one of my favourite bands, 10cc. So this actually continues the holiday theme because it's from the album Bloody Taurus, and as you can see, that Taurus is in a bit of a mess. He's got the mat blown in his face. He's got an exotic companion in the sea over there. And it's obviously a Hypnosis cover. And knowing Hypnosis, they probably flew to some sort of really exotic Caribbean island just to shoot this instead of using just a backdrop, which is their want. And inside, you've got 10cc stranded at an airport. This is the line-up of 10cc when Godley and Cream had left. Anyway, this also has the song Dreadlock Holiday on it, so bonus points for me for, picking an album with a holiday song on it. But the drinking song on here is called The Anonymous Alcoholic, and it's superb. It's one of 10cc's great story songs. So the story of the song is this guy who's obviously a recovering alcoholic is on a works trip somewhere abroad, and he doesn't want to be there. He stumbles into the bar. He keeps trying to resist, but in the end, he gives up. He gets absolutely plastered and drunk enough, so he starts going dancing on the disco floor. And there's a great bit in the middle of the song where it sort of breaks into like a disco medley with like congos and bongos and stuff like that. And it goes full disco for a couple of minutes while the guy's dancing around. He makes an impromptu dive at the boss's wife. He starts groping the hostess and eventually finds himself getting thrown out of the bar onto the beach, where he wakes up in the morning feeling like hell and then realises the boss has sacked him. So what does he do at the end of the song? He goes back to the bar. So that's The Anonymous Alcoholic by 10cc. It's a great song, and it's just, it's great 10cc. Lots of clever musical tricks in the song, and just great lyrics and a great story. So that's from the album Bloody Taurus by 10cc. Okay, number 5. Summer is tornado season. The tri-state tornado in 1925, bit of history here, was on the ground for 219 miles before dissipating. Show the 219th album in your collection. Now, I don't keep my collection in any sort of order, as you know, but I tend to always think in my head that my collection starts with this frame here and then just spreads all around the house, basically. So if I count from here, going across, the 219th album was Wings at the Speed of Sound. Now, this is a sort of a strange album, really, from 1976. Paul McCartney always wanted Wings to be like a democratic union where all members of the band contribute songs and ideas, and that was never going to really happen, was it, with McCartney? You read any sort of biography and you'll realise quite quickly that he just couldn't let go of control. He wanted to write the songs, he wanted to play most of the instruments, and basically the people he hired to be in the band just ended up being sidemen, basically, to his ideas. But he did make quite a brave stab at it here. You've got a song by Denny Laine, The Note You Never Wrote, which was all right. Beware My Love he wrote on here, which is a really great rocker. There's a vocal by Jimmy McCulloch and a song Wino Junko, which is a bit of a folky tune that doesn't really go anywhere. Linda has a song, Cook of the House, and even Joe English, the drummer, sings "Must Do Something About It." So it was Paul's attempt at making like a band album, but it is quite patchy. The biggest songs on here are "Let Him In," which is a classic, "Silly Love Songs," another classic, and some deep cuts that are really good on here. "Time to Hide" is really good as well. And like I say, "Beware My Love." So it's a patchy album. Again, artwork by Hypnosis. There's all the band there doing a bit of a Hard Day's Night type cover. All look a bit stoned really, but that's the inner and shots of the band. But yeah, it's all right. It's a middle ground McCartney album really. A bit patchy in my eyes, but yeah, it has its moments. Okay, prompt 6, Brain Freeze. July is National Ice Cream Month. Show an artist that has a song with the word cold in the title. And this was just the first one that came to mind for some reason, and it's by Little Feat, and it's from the album Feats Don't Fail Me Now. Great album this, and the track is a medley at the end of the album, and it's called Cold, 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 and it goes into a song called Tripe Face Boogie, which is a great title for a song. It's about a 10-minute jam, but the first song is Cold, 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 and this is from 1974. It's a great album this. It's got the classic Rock and Roll Doctor on it. It's got Skin It Back, Spanish Moon, Feats Don't Fail Me Now. Oh, it's just a great album. I need more Little Feat albums. I don't really have that many, but I've always really enjoyed this album. It's a great album. So yeah, Cold, Cold, Cold by Little Feat. So number 7, Flag Day is observed in the US on June the 14th. Show an album with a flag on the cover. Now, you don't get much better flags than this, and this is from Meatloaf's Dead Ringer album. Look at the size of that flag. And, that's such a great cover. I love these fantasy artwork type covers. It looks like a Frank Frazetta cover, doesn't it? But it's not. It's by a comic artist. I think it's Bernie Wrightson that's done it. But I've always loved that cover. I mean, who wouldn't want to be, riding out of the ocean with a piranha on your bike, surrounded by naked women holding a flag? I mean, that's a summer that you would remember, isn't it? But yeah, look at that flag. I don't think it belongs to any particular country, the state of Meatloaf or whatever. But yeah, that counts. It's a flag. It's a flag there, and he's holding it loud and proud. And there's Mr. Loaf on the back. This was obviously the follow-up to Bat Out of Hell. They had so many problems getting this album together, so much record company pressure. There were lots of drugs involved. Meatloaf lost his voice, and just one problem after another. So I think this took 3 years to make. It's nowhere near as good as Bat Out of Hell, but it has its moments. You've obviously got I'm Gonna Love Her for Both of Us on here. Read 'Em and Weep, Dead Ringer for Love, and yeah, it's patchy, but it's decent. I like Meatloaf. Yeah, I like a bit of Meatloaf. Not the actual Meatloaf. I don't like the actual Meatloaf, but I like this Meatloaf. So yeah, an album with a flag on the cover. There you go. So we're at prompt 8, and that's July the 1st is Canada Day. Show a Canadian band, and this is probably stereotypical, or the one probably everybody thinks of, but I've gone for Rush. Love a bit of Rush. This is their first album. Love that comic book type art. Obviously, this is, when they were still finding the feet. Obviously, Neil Peart wasn't a member at this point. You had John Rutsey on drums in his sort of spangly, glammy type outfit, and this is just like basically heavy rock. It was before Neil Peart joined, and they sort of went down that sort of progressive type route that we all know and love. And I love a bit of Rush, especially the later proggy type albums. So yeah, that's my Canadian band, good old Rush. Next prompt. The Dog Days of Summer start on July the 3rd. Show an album that's a dog in your collection, one you no longer listen to, dislike, or want to purge. I've said this before, I don't keep albums I don't like. They tend to go out the door fairly quickly. Although I do have a purge, and every couple of years and go through stuff and find things that I don't listen to anymore and get rid of them. So instead, I thought I'd show you an album with a dog on the cover. So I've gone for a band that's also named after a dog as well. So bonus points again. So this is Stray Dog, the band, and the suggestively titled While You're Down There. So there you've got a disappearing dog and the band coming up as the sun. I really don't know what's going on there. Really bad cover design. The music's all right though. The music's good. So this is from 1974. It's just a standard rock album, 70s rock album, but still enjoyable. I think the most famous person in the band is Snuffy Walden, who was a lead guitar player. But I don't know why I picked this up. I probably just thought the cover was a bit strange, and so I thought I'll pick it up. But it's solid, yeah. Another thing to note is it's on the Manticore label, which was Emerson, Lake and Palmer's label, wasn't it? So on the Manticore label. So I'm not getting rid of this album, but it counts as a dog, I think. Stray Dog, While You're Down There. Next up, we've got Summer Camp. Never been to a summer camp. Every morning, a bugle, that's why. A bugle blowing wakes you up. Show a band or song with horns. I've gone for the jazz rock band If. This is Tea Breaks Over Back on Your Heads from 74. I've got quite a few If albums. They're great. They're just like, jazz rock with the emphasis on rock. And the horn player in the band is Dick Morrissey, who played saxophones. He's quite a well-known saxophonist. And just a great band, great jazz rock band. So the album title, Tea Breaks Over Back on Your Heads, is the punchline to a joke that was going round at the time. And I don't know if you've heard the joke. It's basically a man goes to hell and he's met by the devil, and the devil has 3 rooms in hell, and the man is asked to choose his eternal punishment. And the devil opens the first door, and in the first door there's loads of people hanging from the ceiling with chains, and the feet are over the fiery flames of hell, and the feet are burning, and they're all screaming and shouting. So the devil closes the door, and the man thinks, no, that's not for me, that one. The devil opens the second door, and inside everybody is being bareback whipped constantly, lots of screaming, lots of noise. And the devil says, do you want that to be your eternal punishment? And the man says no. So he opens the third and last door, and inside everybody in there is sat in a pile of sewage, and they're all drinking from cups of tea. And the man thinks, yeah, that seems all right. That doesn't seem too bad for an eternal punishment. And he says to the devil, I'll go for that one. So the man grabs a cup of tea, sits down in the sewage, and all of a sudden a voice cries, right, lads, tea breaks over, back on your heads. And that's his eternal punishment and the band's. So that's a band with horns, If, tea breaks over, back on your heads. Prompt 11. July the 27th is Take Your Houseplant for a Walk Day. It has strange traditions in America. Show an album with a flower, shrub, plant, etc. on the cover. Well, I've gone for the full kit and caboodle. I've gone for foliage. So there's loads of plants and flowers and stuff there. And yes, this is Pablo Cruise, and I bloody love Pablo Cruise. They're not a cool band. They're a 70s band. I absolutely love them. The sort of yacht rock, really tuneful, melodic, slight bit of sort of slick jazz in there. And they're just a great band. All their albums, they've done loads of albums. All their albums are really cheap to buy, and they're just great, catchy yacht rock, summery type albums, and I absolutely love them. This album's got Island Woman on it, Sleeping Dogs, What Does It Take, Not Tonight, and it finishes with like a 12-minute track called Ocean Breeze, where the band really stretch out. And it's really slick, and it's really melodic and catchy. And yeah, Pablo Cruise, unashamedly love him. I think they're fantastic. And you even get a gorilla on this one and some peacocks. So yeah, and a strange monkey type thing. But yeah, this one's also produced by Michael Jackson. it's not that Michael Jackson, I don't think. But if you were a producer and you worked in the music industry and your name was Michael Jackson, you'd change it, wouldn't you, so as not to get confused. But that's his lookout. I mean, he might like the fact that people think Michael Jackson's produced this, but it wasn't him. I'm sure it wasn't him. But yeah, Pablo Cruz on A&M from 1975. Yeah, I love Pablo Cruz. Check him out if you've never heard him. I think they're great. Okay, number 12. Summer blockbuster movies are released. Show a favourite soundtrack. I think this is actually my favourite soundtrack of all time. And I've got quite a few soundtracks I like. But this is the soundtrack to Get Carter. Absolutely fantastic 70s gangster film. What can you say about it? Michael Caine's absolutely amazing in it. And somebody once said it's a film about shits in terms of that everybody in the film, every single character is a lowlife, and you just wouldn't want to be associated with any of them. And not one single character in the film has any sort of redeeming features. And that's probably quite true. But the soundtrack is absolutely superb. It's by Roy Budd, who did quite a few cool soundtracks, did a lot of lounge and jazz type albums. And it's just a classic. I mean, that main intro theme where Carter gets on the train at the beginning, just superb. Really funky, really dark. Lots of sort of Indian type percussion and that grooving bass line. And it's just a great soundtrack. There's a couple of great songs in here that he's written as well for, like, you know, nightclub scenes and stuff. Love is a Four-Letter Word. Living Should Be This Way. Getting Nowhere in a Hurry. But the whole soundtrack is absolutely amazing. It's just superb. That's the cover of the Japanese issue, which is worth an absolute fortune these days. But yeah, some shots from the film and the iconic Michael Caine pose there, Jack Carter. But it's just an absolutely classic soundtrack. Absolutely superb. And also, I always like soundtracks that add the dialogue from the film in between the tracks as well to give it a bit more of a, you know, atmosphere. And this takes some, you know, some of the classic dialogue from the film in between the tracks as well. So it just makes for an even better soundtrack. So yeah, Get Carter, absolutely superb soundtrack. Okay, we're getting to the last few now. Prompt 13, Cat Nights begin on August the 17th. It's an old legend saying a witch could turn herself into a cat. Show an album with a cat on the cover and one with a witch on the cover. Okay, so I've gone for the obvious. The Cat by Jimmy Smith on Verve. Some cool organ-led jazz funk. The cat looks pretty demonic itself, doesn't it? So it's obviously a witch's cat there. But yeah, just classic Jimmy Smith organ grooves. You've got The Cat, Basin Street Blues, main title from the film The Carpetbaggers. Great jazz fusion album. Love Jimmy Smith. And an album with a witch on the cover. I struggled with this actually, and then I remembered this one. This is the soundtrack to the sexploitation horror Virgin Witch. This was issued on Trunk. It's sort of like quite a laid-back, jazzy type soundtrack. Lots of piano, which is not what you'd expect from, you know, a film called Virgin Witch. I'm sure the Virgin Witch of the title implies that it's a witch who's never done magic before. I'm almost positive that's what it means. Yeah, it's a strange soundtrack. It's by the composer Ted Dix, who wrote the theme tune to Carry On Screaming, funnily enough. And he also did... What else did he do? Oh, he contributed to the comedy album On Pleasure Bent by Kenneth Williams, which is another one of my favourites. So yeah, Virgin Witch there, a film full of, and I quote, virgins, lesbians, witches and sacrifice. So it's a film that I probably wouldn't mind seeing at some point, but yeah, a witch, a virgin one. Okay, number 14. Summer is a time when people take a lot of road trips. What's a good song for a road trip? This came to my head straight away. You can just imagine driving through the desert in America at night in a big American car and just sticking this song in on the 8-track cartridge, and it's on the doors, Morrison Hotel, and it's Roadhouse Blues, and it's just such an incredibly funky and rocking and, you know, dirty sounding blues, basically. It's a great track. Unfortunately, Status Quo had a bash at it, which was a mistake, but the Doors version is absolutely fantastic. It's one of my all-time favourite Doors songs from one of my all-time favourite Doors albums. In fact, it's one of my all-time favourite albums, Morrison Hotel. It's an absolutely superb Doors album. And Roadhouse Blues, it's just, you can just imagine driving down a highway, listening to this really loudly with the wind blowing through your hair and going on vacation somewhere. So yeah, that's the Doors and Roadhouse Blues. So here we are at the last question, and it is: summer means heat. Show 4 bands that alphabetically spell out the word heat. So here we go. First one from 1968. The self-titled first debut album by H.P. Lovecraft, obviously named after the novelist. A bit of psych rock for you there on Phillips. So that's H.P. Lovecraft. Next up, a bit of indie rock pop. This is the second album by Elastica that's never talked about, called The Menace. This was the album they made 4 or 5 years after the debut. You know, another band that got lost in a mire of drugs and disagreements. And then this came along. They lost 2 members, gained 3 new members, and made this album. And it was just, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't the first album. And then they sort of lost it again and never made another album, which was a shame. But yeah, it's E for Elastica, and that's The Menace. So I've gone for a bit of electronica. This is the Advisory Circle from Out Here from 2014. This is on the Ghostbox label, and it's just full of what Ghostbox stands for, basically. So it's like creepy electronica, lots of analog synths and old-fashioned retro sounding synths. A lot of the tracks sound like forgotten theme tunes from 70s and 80s TV shows. I love the Advisory Circle. I love a lot of Ghostbox records. Obviously, the guy behind the Advisory Circle is John Brooks, electronic musician. I've got lots of his albums and lots of his spin-off albums. He's made albums under a variety of names. His albums for the Ghostbox label are always great. So yeah, spooky electronica and a great Julian House design sleeve. So yeah, the Advisory Circle from Out Here for A. And lastly, another hip-hop album, Tribe Called Quest, another absolutely superb hip-hop group. And this is their first album, People's Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhythm, another classic hip-hop album, loads of great samples, mainly sort of on the jazz side. Q-Tip is an amazing rapper, I love his voice, and it's just a classic hip-hop album from the early 90s, I think it is. It's 89, 90. This is the first press of it, and there's just so many classic tracks on here. Push It Along, Lucky Lucian, After Hours, Left My Wallet in El Segundo, Can I Kick It, obviously, Bonita Applebum, just a classic, uplifting, summery sounding hip-hop album. And that's my tribute to summer response for Peter. Hope you like it, Peter, and I love doing these summer vinyl tag videos, and hope you enjoy it. So stay cool, everyone, enjoy your summers and stay hydrated, and have a lolly on me. All the best.